1 second. So in today's session, Shali and Radhika both are one of the best, coaches. These both are going to explore more options for you, making your life much more easier. How you can have the healthy suji, what type of poha you can have, what oats you can have, how you can bring your sugars down without compromising with your day-to-day meals, which is Indian authentic breakfast and the, rice. If we talk about what type of rice suits us, and how we can experiment with all these options to bring a change in our blood sugar readings. So we are going to talk about all these things. We can have the ampana, Monica, but avoid the sugar. That's how I make it. I make it a thin one. I take one raw mango and one small ripe and one raw. So if you take a small ripe one, if you add it to the, while boiling the mango, and it will give the sweetness itself. You don't need to. And the tanginess and sweetness combination, it balances the entire ampana. You don't need to add any of the sugar to it. And it is extremely yummy. So please don't add any sugar to it. Then it's absolutely good to go. Absolutely, when you're going to add the sugar, it will give a spike. So eat in a right form. So without wasting much time, we will take all the questions at the end of the session. So let's quickly finish it. Last half an hour, we are going to give it to you, your questions. You want to talk to each other. You want to share your journey, motivate your other fellow mates, how it has been progressed for, what was the progress for you. We will discuss each and everything. So let's start, girls. Over to you. And you can quickly introduce yourself.
Great. So I first welcome you all to this session. We're going to start and I'm going to share my screen. Radhika will take the first part and I'll take the options. As Neha said, we're going to give you some options to understand more in detail. What are the healthy swaps option you can try, and you can, increase a list of foods in your diet. So give me a minute. I'm just sharing my screen. Let us know that you're able to see the screen properly or not. Radhika, is it visible?
Yeah, it's visible, Shauli. So first of all, thank you, Shauli and Neha, for a beautiful introduction. On this Sunday morning, I welcome you all. I know Sundays are always special for all of us. We would have our own different plans, but I already see more than 100 people have joined the presentation. So glad to have all of you here. I'm sure today's 1 hour is going to be very informative, and you'll be, able to take a lot of points which will help you to manage your sugar levels in the coming future as well. So as Shauli very well explained that today we are going to discuss about healthy swaps for diabetes. And let's start with the presentation, please.
So just before we start, I just want to give you all one quick info that every Sunday at 11 o'clock, we come with this session. So please mark your calendars and join us every Sunday at 11. These sessions, many times people come and tell me that, Neha, we have not been informed. So if you open your app at the home page, you have been given the information about the upcoming session. You can find it over there. Plus, we have also, it's a by default calendar. Every Sunday, 11 a.m., we all will be here. So please do not miss this and join it, and remind your other teammates also in the group that there is a session. So I hope to see you all every Sunday at 11. And it's our time, our family time. So let's talk, share information, and learn something new and have a good time. And you can also come up with some new things. And we are definitely going to take this up forward. Over to you guys.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Neha. Yes, very well said. We all are very open to, know certain topics, certain major points. If you would want us to probably share information with, so let us know the topics that you would want us to have. And, spending Sunday mornings with your family is a great time. You get to learn and you get to spend the time with your family too. So let your family members also enjoy these sessions, and I'm sure they won't be disappointed at all. To start with today's session, let me first introduce to you what the agenda is, right? So agenda will explain to us what all things are we going to cover majorly in today's presentation. Firstly, let us start by understanding what are healthy swaps and the benefits of it. So majorly, we will understand that, okay, what are the food options that we consume on a regular basis, or I would say majorly, and what are the different options are the options that we can consume rather than having those regular foods that we have. And also, if we consume those alternative foods, what are the benefits of consuming those is what we're going to study. Then we'll also understand how to determine high versus low glycemic index food. So we'll understand in the coming slides what exactly a glycemic index is, which foods comes in the category of low, moderate, or high glycemic index foods, and also how does it affect your glucose levels. Nextly, we'll be understanding the checklist to select diabetic friendly foods. Now, trust me, no food is good or bad, but yes, we have to understand maybe certain foods are suiting us well, certain foods are not suiting us well. So we'll just try to understand and, see the checklist, which food is diabetic friendly or which foods are probably helping us to maintain the sugar levels. That is something we are going to understand. Then tips to identify the high glycemic index food. Now, this is again very important so that, by default, we make more healthier choices. Okay, whether I should be going for option A or option B. For example, if I'm having two options, whether I'm having a maida roti or I'm having a jawar roti. So I should be aware of what option might be good for me, and accordingly, I'll be able to prefer and, choose my food options. Then healthy swaps for different meals. So Shauli is going to take you through a lot of beautiful options throughout the presentation, wherein she'll be giving you those regular options that we consume and more healthier and alternative options for the regular options that we have. Then we'll be having healthy swaps list again, and we'll be having a small, session of a quiz sort of a thing wherein you'll be, you should identify that, okay, which is the most healthiest option that you see on the screen. So we'll just try to analyze these options, and trust me, it is going to be a fun yet learning session for all of us. So let's get started, please. Next slide, Shauli. Healthy swaps. So firstly, let us understand what a swap is, okay? Basically, if you're having an option A and option B, or you're having those XYZ options, what are the other foods or what are the healthier alternatives that you can choose ahead except for the previous options? This is what is healthy swaps. So for example, let me give you a very, very basic example. If I'm having a plain water or I'm having an alkaline water. So of course, alkaline water is a more healthier swap to my regular water, right? So this is what is exactly healthy swaps. This is going to help us, probably not just bring and incorporate more healthier options to our meal plan, but will also help us to, take care of our required caloric intake, to control the portion size of carbohydrates, to ensure that we are consuming required amount of, healthy fats, proteins into the diet, and will surely help us to eliminate or reduce the, excess amount of carbs, excess amount of fats, excess amount of sodium in the diet. Now, let us also ensure that it is very important for us to make the things more comfortable. Like, if I'm having a very simple option A, I just cannot go to a very complicated option B. So we will always prefer to have very simpler options, which are very comfortable to choose and yet giving us more nutritive value through our food. So this is what exactly is about healthy swaps. Okay. And as I said, we have to ensure that these things are very, very comfortable for us, because I know, all of us have your routine, your office, your home. We have to manage a lot of things around you. We would not want to probably burden you by giving you some, XYZ things or very exotic things that you cannot probably manage on regular basis. So that is how we just try to make things very simpler for you when we talk about healthy swaps. Next slide.
Sorry, Radhika, to interrupt, but someone in the chat asking you to also, like explain in Hindi as well. So
Okay.
we will use Hindi and English, both the languages,
Yeah,
right?
sure,
That
surely, sure.
we can cover most of the queries, right?
Sure, surely.
And also, I just request everyone to please tell us you are able to see the video, or you can hear us properly or not. Because if you're not able to hear us, let us know. We'll also check our network. But if most of you are able to hear us, then I think those who are having signal problems, please check the network and rejoin.
Yeah. सो अभी जो मैंने कहा था हेल्दी स्वैप्स के बारे में, मैं आपको क्विकली एक्सप्लेन करती हूँ हिंदी में एक बार। हेल्दी स्वैप्स बेसिकली क्या होता है, जो आप रेगुलर फूड खाते हैं, जो हमारे रोजमर्रा के जीवन में जो हमारा खाने का इंटेक होता है, उनको हम बेटर और हेल्दी बनाने के लिए क्या ऑप्शंस के साथ उसको रिप्लेस कर सकते हैं, उसको हम बोलते हैं हेल्दी स्वैप्स। फॉर एग्जाम्पल, अगर मैं खा रही हूँ मैदे की रोटी, तो उससे ज्यादा बेटर ऑप्शन है कि मैं गेहूं की रोटी खाऊं या मैं जवार या रागी की रोटी खाऊं। सो वो हमारा हेल्दियर चॉइस होता है। ठीक है, तो आज के प्रेजेंटेशन में आपको यही एक्सप्लेन करेंगे कि रेगुलर ऑप्शंस के जगह आप उसको हेल्दी ऑप्शंस में कैसे चूज कर सकते हैं, जिससे कि आप ज्यादा हेल्दी रह सकते हैं, आपके शुगर लेवल ज्यादा बेटर रह सकते हैं, एंड आप अपना बॉडी वेट भी कंट्रोल में रख सकते हैं। ठीक है, सो दिस इज ऑल अबाउट हेल्दी स्वैप्स। इसी बारे में हम आगे भी बात करेंगे। नेक्स्ट प्रेजेंटेशन, नेक्स्ट स्लाइड प्लीज। अब हम जानते हैं कि व्हाट आर द बेनिफिट्स ऑफ स्वैप्स एंड डायबिटीज। ओके, सी, वी आर हैविंग दैट रेगुलर फूड। हम सब्जी, रोटी, दाल, राइस, सैलेड, ये सब चीजें बहुत रेगुलर मील्स होते हैं जो हम लोग खाते हैं। मे बी हफ्ते में 2 बार हम लोग अनहेल्दी फूड खाते हैं या बाहर का जंक खा लेते हैं। बट लेट अस अंडरस्टैंड कि क्यों रेगुलर खाने को थोड़ा सा हेल्दी स्वैप्स से रिप्लेस करना हमारे लिए बहुत बेनिफिशियल हो सकता है। ठीक है, firstly it is by default, if we make sure that we are switching to healthier swap options, that is helping us to maintain a healthy body weight. And not just that, it is also helping us to maintain regular blood glucose levels. Now, why does this happen is because if we move and switch to healthier swap options, तो हमारे खाने के unnecessary required amount of calories, unrequired amount of carbohydrates, excess amount of fats, sodium, ये सारी चीजें हम कट डाउन कर देते हैं. एंड ऑल्सो रिफाइंड प्रोडक्ट्स, कैंड प्रोडक्ट्स, जो चीजें बाहर की है, पैकेट की है, बहुत रेडी टू ईट है, ये सब चीजों को हम रिप्लेस कर देते हैं. दैट हेल्प्स अस टू मेंटेन हेल्दी वेट एंड ब्लड शुगर लेवल्स. Then next is you can always enjoy your meals without having any guilt. As a nutritionist, I completely believe in this that okay, whatever you are enjoying, आप वो खाने को enjoy कीजिए. That is, you should be relying and enjoying the food that you are eating. Food आपके life का एक बहुत integral part होता है. And you should not never ever feel guilty कि अरे मैंने क्यों खा लिया, या खाने के बाद आप sad feel कर रहे हो, बुरा feel कर रहे हो. That should not happen to any of us. इसलिए जो चीजें हम खा रहे, if we choose more mindfully, that will always keep us happy. Also, if you choose healthy swaps, आप better alternatives choose कर रहे हो, it is ensured that आपके blood sugar levels, आपका cholesterol levels, that is your lipid profile, आपका blood pressure, ये सभी चीजों पे हम control रख सकते हैं. Because as I mentioned, जो चीजें unwanted है या जो चीजों को हमको restrict करना होता है डाइट में, हम उन सबको healthier option से replace कर देते हैं. So let us probably keep those benefits into consideration, because जब हमें पता होता है कि नहीं, these are the benefits, और ये जो सारे हैं, ये हमको गेन्स मिलते हैं ये चीजें करने के बाद, if that is back of our mind, we ensure and we eat more mindfully. So let us probably take care of this. Next slide, please. Next, we're going to understand about how to determine high versus low glycemic index foods. First, let me give you a very, very small introduction about what exactly a glycemic index is. Okay. So basically, glycemic index is a number that gives you an idea about how fast the body converts your carbohydrates into your glucose. So for example, अगर मैंने अभी morning में I had पोहा, पोहा खाने के बाद मेरा sugar spike कितने देर में हुआ, that is the glycemic index of पोहा. Okay. If I had fruits, after consuming fruits, after how long my sugar level had given me a spike, that tells me what exactly is the glycemic index of that food. So we have to ensure कि जिन चीजों का, जो foods का glycemic index is low, we have to ensure that we are consuming those, or we are probably incorporating those foods more into our diet. It is not like अगर कोई चीज का glycemic index high है तो that is super unhealthy. It is just that we have to balance it well with the other things then. Okay. So low glycemic index होता है basically जिनका जो value होता है it is lesser than 70. Moderate glycemic index का value होता है mostly 70 to 90, and high glycemic index का it is more than 90. Shall I quickly take you through a few examples? Low glycemic index, it's a lot of like vegetables, soya bean, apples, pulses, cereals, all these are low glycemic index food. Moderate में we have potatoes, rice, sweet potatoes, peas, carrots, beans, ये सब इसमें होता है moderate glycemic index foods. When it comes to high glycemic index foods, it's majorly the products which are very refined, जो बहुत refined होते हैं, packed होते हैं. For example, your maida, breads, sugars, your corn, all these things are high in glycemic index. That means if you consume the food which are rich in high glycemic index, you will see a major surge, a major spike in your glucose levels. Unlikely, you will see this when you consume low glycemic index food. So we'll always try to prefer the foods which are low in glycemic index, and we'll try to balance it out. Next slide, please. Now, checklist to select diabetic friendly food. Again, I am sure, since day one, when you're on this journey, you might have been told by your coaches how the journey is going to be on sugar fit, what all are the major important parts and factors that we have to work on thoroughly. So certain checklists that we have to ensure before we choose any meal, or, before we eat anything. Let us probably keep these things into consideration so that by the end of the meal, we feel that, okay, we had a good meal and we are choosing healthier and better options for us. Firstly, the food which is low in carbohydrates. Okay. So let us ensure that carb is little restricted in the meal, or I would say a portion controlled carbohydrate should be consumed. You all by now know that, okay, you have that meal plate concept wherein 25% of the plate should consist of carbs. Now, may it be any carbohydrate for that matter, अगर आप उसको 50% of the plate रखते हो या 75% of the plate रखते हो, तो surely आपको sugar level spike up होगा ही होगा, right? And therefore we say not just what you eat, but the portion that you eat, the sequence that you eat plays a very crucial role. So let us ensure that carbs are taken into consideration and should have a proper portion and moderate size in your plate. Because trust me, we really need to put in a lot of efforts to add fiber, protein, salads khao, koshambir khao, dahi khao, sprouts khao. But when it comes to carbs, you don't have to put in efforts because Indian diet is actually rich in carbohydrates. However, let me also ensure it is not just कि सिर्फ carbs आपके diet में होते हैं. We have that beautiful combination wherein you have dal with rice, you eat chutney with your sabzi roti. So it's a beautiful combination. आपको बस ये चीज ensure करनी है कि जो भी चीज आप खा रहे हो वो सही मात्रा में आपके प्लेट में होनी चाहिए. Next is high in fiber. Okay. So now we feel that okay हमें सब चीजें समझती है, but trust me, your body is more smarter than you. If you don't eat fiber before starting your meals, आपका शुगर लेवल बहुत ज्यादा स्पाइक हो सकता है. ऑन द कॉन्ट्ररी, अगर आप खाने की शुरुआत अच्छे फाइबर से कर रहे हो, यू विल सी अ मेजर मेजर डिप इन द स्पाइक्स दैट यू हैव, अगर आपका ग्राफ एक्सट्रीम ऊपर जाके एक्सट्रीम नीचे उतर रहा है, but if you consume a fiber, you will have a very, very stable graph. So let us ensure that we incorporate good amount of fiber. Next is regarding proteins. Now, majority of the Indians, I was just reading an article, I think 3 days back, almost 75% of the Indians are deficient in the protein intake that they should be having. Okay. So even if I consider the minimum protein intake that my body require, which is 0.8 gram per kg body weight. Okay. If I'm not even able to consume that, that is something not good for my body because protein is like those building blocks for your body. It is like, the एक बोलते हैं ना वो हमारे शरीर की नींव है. तो प्रोटीन हमारे लिए बहुत बहुत जरूरी होता है. सो लेट अस एंश्योर mostly will preferably have plant proteins, but although protein has to be an integral part of our meal whenever we have, especially the major meals like your breakfast, lunch, and then your dinner, consist of good fats. Trust me guys, fats is one that a thing which is blacklisted, I would say. कि fats है मत खाओ, घी है मत खाओ, तेल है मत खाओ, avocado है मत खाओ. But let us understand, fats दो तरीके के होते हैं. एक होता है good fat, एक होता है bad fat. So we have to ensure that whatever types of fats we are consuming, it should be a good fat. So I'll give you two quick examples of it. First example is our 4 बार तले हुए समोसे वाला तेल, and the second option is our badam and akhroad. Now both the things have good amount of fats in it. Yes, the healthier one is the almonds and walnuts that we choose, and not the repeatedly used oil which we were frying the samosas. So that's the healthier choice, which wherein you comes into the picture of what exactly you have to choose. And very importantly, less processed. Now this is something I really swear by. I personally believe that food should be coming more from your kitchen, from the farm, and not from the, shells for you. So anything which is packed, canned, frozen, processed is something that we have to least use in our, regular basis. Once in a while, I do understand the routine that we have, the lifestyle that we have, the, busy schedules all of us have these days. Once in a while is surely understandable. But let us not make processed food as a part of our regular meals. That's very, very important for us. Next slide, please, Shirley. Tips to identify the high glycemic index food now. The first is the finer the grain, higher the glycemic index. A very simple example, maybe having a ragi or a maida. So having a glycemic index of, maida is going to be really higher than ragi or jawar or bajra. That is how we identify. Then the level of sweetness. If it is very sweet, for example, let's consider any sort of fruit or sugar or sweet. So these things are high in glycemic index. For example, if I eat, a rasgulla, I know that, okay, the glycemic index of this food is high because it is extremely sweet in taste. That is another thing. And also processing procedures. Now, if I have XYZ thing, I bring something from the farm, well, let's, for that matter, consider any oil. You are cleaning, refining, processing, re-refining, reprocessing. Anything which is going through a lot of procedures, lot of, processing is something which is having, high glycemic index. For example, if I'm consuming fries, ready-made fries, if I'm consuming wafers, these things are surely going to be high in glycemic index because they are processed and they are not something which is coming right from the farm or from the kitchen. So these are a very, very basic tips for us to identify whether the food is low or high in glycemic index. Next slide, please. Over to you, Shauli. Please take our clients through healthier swaps right now for each meal that we consume.
I think Radhika, we are left for we are left for the options that I'm going to take from now onwards. But if anyone has any queries so far, you can tell us on the chat. So, Radhika, we can take few questions in the chat. I think one or two questions, and
Yeah, sure.
forward to the second part of the.
Sprout is
We have,
creating gastrointestinal issues, Shauli. Mr. Ashok is asking. So, what's your take in that?
can you repeat the question once?
Mr. Ashok is asking that Sprout is creating gastrointestinal issues, even if it is baked one.
So in terms of sprout, what you can do, you can soak it overnight. I think soaking is something helpful to reduce that anti-nutritional factor which is present in almost all the pulses, right? Or you can even boil it as well. But I think the first thing is that you have to soak overnight. Then you can boil it in the morning. Or else you can even use white vinegar before cooking the sprouts as well, right? And try to eat it in the breakfast rather than eating it at night, which will also cause more flatulence. And combine with a good amount of vegetables. You can even add apple cider vinegar in the form of a salad to make a dish as your like a grainless breakfast if you are following. तो आप उसको morning में भी use कर सकते हैं. Um, इसके अलावा you can incorporate in your daily salads, but अगर particularly अगर आपको से problem होती है, then regularly ना लेके better to have it in moderate.
Okay.
Radhika, we have
Yeah.
questions regarding, I think, the same category. Green dosa has given step increase in blood sugar. Why?
Okay. So when it comes to green dosa, firstly, we would also want to know what exactly the dosa was consisting. Green in color, may it be, we have curry patta dosa also, we have palak dosa also. Let us understand what the green was exactly, and may it be palak or, curry dosa. But still, if it is just the dosa and the curry or the palak added, it is still a source rich in carbohydrate. So we have to ensure that we add some sort of, maybe vegetables or proteins to that in the form of, lot of vegetable with sambar option that you can consume, or some grated paneer to it, that will ensure that the spike is actually controlled with that, because even if it is a dosa, it is still a rich source of carbohydrate. So the coconut chutney or vegetable sambar is actually balancing out this for us.
I think, Radhika, it depends how it made, right? So if it's a grain dosa, so you are actually using a like flour with it, right? So if you're using flour, let's say besan,
Yeah.
and you are using a green only, let's say a sprout.
Yeah.
You see the fundamental here. So the carbs will come from a basin and greens, the sprout group, right? Always what I suggest you add the vegetables also. It will balance the whole meal and reduce the GI index as well. You can even 2 to 3 teaspoons of curd you can use in the dosa also, which make the dosa fluffy and more protein rich.
Yeah.
I think I just forgot the name to ask the question. But I request you to please add vegetables in the dosa batter and also add few spoons of curd and rest it for at least 1 hour, then make the dosa. I think that will reduce the spike as well. Or maybe you can also have a sambar with it and add the curd in the dosa batter. Okay, we'll take two more questions and then we'll start the presentation again. So
Mr.
another question is,
Yeah, Mr. Rajesh Kumar is asking surely that, whether every diabetic patient have different diet or same. So I would really love to answer this question over here. So Mr. Rajesh, this is a very interesting question rather, because most of the people think it's, the same food served to everyone, but that's really not the case, because what all major factors that we consider while sharing the meal plan is your dietary preferences, your cultural preferences, what cuisine do you prefer? Okay. What are your options, like whether you prefer having veg food, non-veg food, your lab reports, your lifestyle, your routine, your food allergens, your food, allergies. So all these are the very basic things
even the
which is
profession, person isn't,
exactly
right?
your
You're a
profession.
businessman or you're an IT professional, you're a marketing professional.
Right.
Our timings, our way of leading life is different. What you
Exactly.
believe in, how many meals you are comfortable with. Maybe I'm comfortable with 2 meals, Radhika will be comfortable with 3 meals. Maybe as a person you're comfortable with 4 meals. Diet will be always personalized for that matter, so that you can follow it. Doesn't matter कि okay, a person is taking 2 meals and he reverses the diabetes. He's taking 2 meals also, the calorie and the carbs is balanced properly. He can even reverse with the 4 meals diet plan as well.
Right. Completely agree, Shali. If he's a doctor, is our client on the platform Sugar Fit, if he's having his surgeries from morning 8 to 1 o'clock in the afternoon, we cannot expect him to leave the surgery and have his mid-morning snack, right? So as per your routine, as per your lifestyle, we actually try to balance those meals for you. And Mr. Neeraj, regarding how many calories do you require, it will actually require some calculations for us to go ahead with. So I would suggest please get in touch with your coach, and you can just ask her how many calories your coach is giving you, or what exactly is the number that she has planned for you. So please go ahead by getting in touch with your your health coach on the platform.
Great. Radhika, my voice is clear or not?
Oh, it is clear, surely.
I got two comments that my voice is not clear. So please let me know my voice is clear or not. But I think Radhika is able to hear me. Please
Yeah.
check your network once. The rest of the question we'll definitely take at the end of the session. I want your patience and put your all the queries in the chat. We'll come back and answer those as well. Okay, let me share the second part of the presentation, which is the exciting to know what are the options. I think all are eagerly waiting for that. But let us understand, not only look at the options, and let us understand so that you can independently make your own options and independently handle the food. Right. So let me share my screen to present that. Radhika, please help me to understand it's visible or not.
It's visible, surely.
I'll just make a full screen. Okay, great. So let us first see the breakfast option. So it's the first meal of the day. We want to be tasty, healthy, at the same time easy to make options, right? So first we have added just a minute. Someone is let's reshare the screen. Allow me a minute. Okay, sorry for the interruption. So let us first see the option which is very common, right? Like let's say poha. So how many of you here in the like current this session love poha to eat as a morning breakfast? How frequently you all are eating this? Okay, I can see someone is raising the hand. Honestly, I also love poha. I'm a Bengali, but I love poha. I make poha like in a Bengali style, but I also love poha. But sadly, poha is something I think most of you have seen that giving a very high spike. My clients are really, fearful कि नहीं, we're not going to eat poha because, it's giving you the rise of blood sugar. But we cannot leave everything, right? We love the food. As Radhika rightly said, I wholly believe food is something we first enjoy, right? We should look, कि, okay, आज क्या बना है घर पे, आज क्या बनाएंगे. It's immediately, make us happy. Don't need to be foodie to eat a food that you love, but food is something which is emotionally connected with. So vegetable poha, see, this is the first, I think, the change we need to make. Generally, poha, what is made authentically, it's only made with rice flakes. So हम थोड़ा सा onion add करते हैं, थोड़ा सा peanuts add करते हैं, and salt से उसको सब बनाते हैं with little bit of oil and curry patta as optional. But हमें उससे पहले you have to add few fibers in it because अगर आप उसको इंग्रेडिएंट्स देखोगे इट्स अ राइस फ्लेक्स राइस से आता है ना मेनली द कार्बोहाइड्रेट्स अगर ऑथेंटिक पोहा डिशेस में प्रोटीन बहुत कम होती है पीनट से कितना ही प्रोटीन आएगा आप 1 स्पून यूज करोगे ज्यादा भी यूज नहीं कर सकते तो कैलोरी उसका बढ़ जाएगा तो फर्स्ट इज दैट टू रिड्यूस द ग्लाइसेमिक इंडेक्स ऑफ द डिश हमने पहले ग्लाइसेमिक इंडेक्स डिस्कस किया था ग्लाइसेमिक इंडेक्स इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर अस सो ओनली वन पर्टिकुलर आइटम ग्लाइसेमिक इंडेक्स नहीं हम देखते एज अ होल डिश भी उसका ग्लाइसेमिक इंडेक्स देखा जाता है राइट तो अगर अभी आपको डिश का ग्लाइसेमिक इंडेक्स कम करना है एड वेजिटेबल्स इन इट एड प्रोटीन इन इट तो पोहा जब हम बनाएंगे the first point is that we will add at least half of the quantity vegetable in it of your choice उसमें carrot, beans, peas, capsicums, tomatoes, onions आप डाल सकते हैं make a enriched fiber enriched पोहा and have it with a protein अगर आप non vegetarian है have it with egg अगर आप vegetarian है have it with a glass of buttermilk or low fat curd अगर वो भी आपको पसंद नहीं है even you can make a paneer poha as it it's really tasty try to make it at home at least once इसके ऑल्टरनेटिव अगर मैं बोलूँ तो ऑल्टरनेटिव हैव अ ऑप्शन व्हिच लाइक अ हेल्दी स्वैप जिसको हम बोलते हैं हम रेड पोहा यूज कर सकते हैं द रीजन बीइंग द सेम बिकॉज इट्स हाई इन फाइबर मिलेट पोहा यूज कर सकते हैं, जैसे बार्ली का पोहा आता है, मतलब आप उसको घर पे बना सकते हैं, राइट। इसके अलावा रोल्ड ओट्स पोहा बनता है, राइट। इवन सेम हम उपमा में यूज कर सकते हैं। सेमोलिना और सूजी की जगह हम उसमें यूज कर सकते हैं मिलेट, लाइक बार्ली जिसका ग्लाइसेमिक इंडेक्स लो है उसको आप यूज कर सकते हैं, बार्नयार्ड यूज कर सकते हैं एज अ मिलेट, उसका भी ग्लाइसेमिक इंडेक्स लो होता है। रोल्ड ओट्स का उपमा बना सकते हैं। सो वी मेनली लुक फॉर द चेंजेस ऑफ द इंग्रेडिएंट। जब हेल्दी स्वैप्स की बात करते हैं तो फर्स्ट इट कम्स द चेंजिंग ऑफ द इंग्रेडिएंट टू मेक द डिश। अगर उसको हमें और भी हेल्दी बनाना है, the fundamental of the diet is add the fiber and the protein. तो fiber उसको आपको always add करना पड़ेगा by adding the vegetable in it. And second is to combine with the protein source. तो इसके अलावा हमारे पास ब्रेकफास्ट ऑप्शन में जनरली क्या होता है, चपाती, आलू पराठा, पूरी, आलू कचौरी, छोले भटूरे। आई थिंक इसको सुनते हैं मोस्ट ऑफ अस लाइक अभी मिल जाता तो बहुत अच्छा होता, लाइक दैट। बट इसका अगर हेल्दी ऑल्टरनेटिव और स्वास हम देखें तो हम सेम चीजें व्हीट बेसन कॉम्बिनेशन बना सकते हैं, विच इज अ कॉम्बिनेशन लोअर इन ग्लाइसेमिक इंडेक्स एंड हाई इन प्रोटीन। व्हीट एंड बेसन का कॉम्बिनेशन काफी अच्छा होता है बिकॉज आप 100% व्हीट की जगह 50% बेसन उसमें इस्तेमाल करते हैं। बेसन की जगह आप उसमें सोयाबीन का आटा इस्तेमाल कर सकते हैं, उसकी जगह आप सत्तू का आटा भी इस्तेमाल कर सकते हैं। इवन किसी को अगर व्हीट पसंद नहीं है, व्हीट से एलर्जी है, यू कैन इवन यूज वन मिलेट फ्लावर एज वेल। सो व्हीट बेसन रोटी, ज्वार बेसन रोटी, दाल की रोटी, जैसे बेसन की रोटी जिसको हम बोलते हैं नॉर्थ में, पनीर स्टफ पराठे आते हैं, सत्तू का स्टफ पराठा आता है विद लेस ऑयल। लेस ऑयल कैसे बनाए, पहले आप पैन को गर्म कर लीजिए, रोटी को पहले सेक लीजिए, एड अ लिटिल स्पून ऑफ ऑयल टू स्प्रेड इट ओवर द टॉप ऑफ द पराठा, एंड उस पर आप गैस को थोड़ा सा लोअर फ्लेम में करके उसको सेकिए, राइट। तो उस पर ऑयल कम कंज्यूम होता है एंड पराठा विल बी क्रिस्पी। बेसन चीला हम इस्तेमाल कर सकते हैं, मूंग दाल चीला कर सकते हैं, इसके अलावा स्प्राउट चीला भी बनता है। दिस आर काइंड ऑफ रोटी सेक्शन जिसमें हम बना सकते हैं। इसके भी बहुत सारे अदर ऑल्टरनेटिव्स भी होते हैं, जैसे पराठे में हम मेथी पराठा बना सकते हैं, पालक पराठा बना सकते हैं, राइट। और बेसन मतलब ये ज्वार की जगह बार्ली हम ऐड कर सकते हैं, बाजरा हम विंटर में ऐड कर सकते हैं, ठीक है। तो जो अगर लोअर ग्लाइसेमिक इंडेक्स की बात करें तो उसमें मिलेट्स में आपका फर्स्ट चॉइस ऑफ होना चाहिए बार्ली, देन बार्निया, देन बाजरा, देन ज्वार, बिकॉज ज्वार से भी आई हैव सीन माय क्लाइंट्स मतलब हैव अ स्पाइक, ठीक है। तो इसको हम बहुत रेगुलरली ना यूज करें तो बेटर है। नाउ कम्स टू द नूडल्स में, हेल्दी स्नैक्स में वी कैन गो फॉर मिलेट नूडल्स, बकव्हीट नूडल्स व्हिच आर वेरी easily available now in the market, right? But always read the levels. लेवल पढ़िए, उसमें इंग्रेडिएंट पढ़िए, कितना परसेंटेज मिलेट है, कितना परसेंटेज अदर फ्लावर एडेड है, विच इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर अस टू अंडरस्टैंड एंड चूज द इंग्रेडिएंट। बट हाउ इज गोइंग टू मेक इट, आप उसे कैसे बनाएंगे। अगर हमने सिर्फ उसको लाइक फ्राई कर लिया अनियन में, टमाटो में, तो इट विल नॉट बी अ फाइबर रिच। maybe we can add vegetables, उसमें भी we can add a protein source। अगर नॉन वेज है तो एग चिकन ऐड कर सकते हैं, वेज में पनीर ऐड कर सकते हैं, राइट। तो वी कैन मेक इट अ मोर हेल्दियर ऑप्शन द वे यू कुकिंग। तो एक होता है कि आप क्या ऑप्शन चूज कर रहे हैं टू मेक द डिश, एंड कैसे आप उसको बना रहे हैं। ये दोनों से ही उसका ग्लाइसेमिक इंडेक्स बोलिए, कैलोरी मतलब टोटल अमाउंट ऑफ कैलोरी बोलिए दैट इज कमिंग फ्रॉम द फूड, दो चीजों के ऊपर डिपेंड करता है। Then bread sandwich. I think it's one of the common options, right? I think Radhika also agree with me. हम ये डेली सुनते हैं कि ना आज कुछ नहीं है घर पे तो ब्रेड खा लिया, माई वाइफ इज नॉट देयर तो मुझे बनाना था तो मैंने ब्रेड खा लिया, आज थोड़ा सा चेंज चाहिए तो ब्रेड खा लिया। सो ब्रेड इज वेरी कन्वीनियंट, राइट। सो बट इसके ऑल्टरनेटिव्स क्या हो सकता है, इसके ऑल्टरनेटिव हम कीटो ब्रेड यूज कर सकते हैं, आलमंड फ्लावर ब्रेड यूज कर सकते हैं। नाउ आप मुझे सवाल कर ही सकते हैं कि these are the options are not affordable, अफोर्डेबल रेंज में नहीं आता है। these are the like modern kind of food ingredients जो is not common in now 2024 also. Yes, you're right, it's not an affordable option, and trust me, it's not a very good option to take it every day. It's of course a better option to take on those days when you don't have time to make food for yourself or for your family. उस ऑप्शन में आप कीटो ब्रेड यूज कर सकते हैं, आलमंड फ्लावर ब्रेड यूज कर सकते हैं। बहुत कंपनीज आजकल बनाती है, बहुत छोटी छोटी स्टार्टअप्स कंपनीज बनाती है। You can, but first thing is first, that is you have to check the levels before purchase that. सेकंड, अगर आप घर पे बना सके विच इज अ बेटर एंड बेस्ट ऑप्शन विद इट। बट आई थिंक ब्रेड सैंडविच के ऑल्टरनेटिव्स आपका ये प्रीवियस ऑप्शन व्हीट बेस्ड रोटी वगैरह भी हो सकता है और चीला भी हो सकता है। चीला बनाने में एक्चुअली सिर्फ 10-15 मिनट लगता है, नॉट टेक मच टाइम एज वेल। तो उसका ऑल्टरनेटिव आप अपर ऑप्शन, जो अवा वाला ऑप्शन है, उसको भी आप यूज कर सकते हैं। नाउ कम्स टू द साबूदाना खिचड़ी। All raise can have like all hand raise for North Indian people who were there for Sabudana Khichdi. Because for Bengalis, it's not in our list. But I think North Indian में ये बहुत common है. It's tasty, I agree. But the problem here is Sabudana is high glycemic, है ना? तो इसका glycemic index काफी ज्यादा है. इसमें अगर आप vegetable भी add करेंगे, you can expect minimum 40 to 50 spike in the sugar. तो अगर आपको पसंद है, once in 15 days में यूज करें, but the formula and the rule is very same. Use half of the vegetable, pair it with the protein, so that the glycemic index of the whole food will be lower. और alternate options में आप क्या यूज कर सकते हैं? बार्ली खिचड़ी हो सकती है, मूंग दाल की खिचड़ी हो सकती है, even you can have a oats dal khichdi as well as alternative options आप इस्तेमाल कर सकते हैं. Now let's come to the some South Indian options, right? First is very popular idli, rava idli, right? So honestly, idli as a dish is very gut friendly, right? Because the way it make it, it's a fermented dish and इस rice से बनता है, तो gut friendly है बहुत. But problem ये है कि इसको मतलब ये इतना soft होता है and it's easily digested ना, तो हमें pieces का ख्याल नहीं रहता. Sometimes take 4 pieces, 5 pieces, 6 pieces. Problem वहां पे है. तो अगर आप इसको ऑल्टरनेटिव ऑप्शंस देखें, विच इज अ मूंग दाल इडली, विच इज अ ओट्स इडली, ज्वार इडली, किनोआ, विच इज वेरी गुड सोर्स ऑफ प्रोटीन, विच इज अ स्यूडो मिलेट, उसका इडली, एंड नहीं तो शुगर फ्री राइस इडली भी आप बना सकते हैं. बट अगेन द वे यू मेक इट, इट क्रिएट्स डिफरेंस. आप इडली जब बनाए उसमें भी यू कैन ऐड कर्ड, पेयर विद सांबर. सांबर अगर घर पे नहीं बन रहा है, चॉप वेजिटेबल्स, ऐड इन द इडली बैटर, मेक अ वेजिटेबल इडली. Pair it with, if you would like to have a coconut chutney, problem, but make sure the coconut quantity and the chutney quantity shouldn't be exceed very high because it's tasty, because it's increase the calorie at the same time. Okay. Then the next option we have, which is a dosa or rava dosa. इसके हेल्दी स्वैप्स क्या हो सकते हैं? ओट्स का डोसा हो सकता है, मूंग दाल का डोसा हो सकता है, अरई हो सकता है, which is also I think the authentic dish. इसके अलावा मिक्स दाल डोसा हो सकता है, मिलेट का डोसा हो सकता है. Now again, if I just combine with the question that I got few minutes ago, कि किसी को अगर दाल की चीजों से प्रॉब्लम होती है, गैस की प्रॉब्लम होती है, तो उसको आप डेली अपने डाइट में ना इंक्लूड करें. उसको वीकली आप 2-3 दिन एज अ ऑप्शन रख सकते हैं. सोक द दाल ओवरनाइट, रात को ओवरनाइट सोक करें, ठीक है, फिर उस दाल से आप बनाएं. और किसी किसी में ओवरनाइट बैटर से भी आपका शुगर स्पाइक कर सकता है, तो फ्रेशली बैटर बना के मॉर्निंग में 1-2 घंटा रख के भी आप बना सकते हैं, विच इज बेटर ऑप्शन. डिपेंडिंग सूट्स योर बॉडी, अकॉर्डिंगली यू कैन टेक द स्टेप. थर्ड इज उत्तपम. उत्तपम का ऑल्टरनेटिव हो सकता है ओट्स उत्तपम विद वेजिटेबल एंड पनीर, सोयाबीन एंड एग एज अ पेयर विद इट. मेदू वड़ा, which is मतलब it's made basically with dal, it is extremely fried, right? तो इसके alternatives में we can have a baked मूंग दाल वड़ा और उड़द दाल वड़ा, ठीक है. और किसी के अगर घर पे ये आपका मतलब जो राइस मतलब ये होता है ना, baked options नहीं है, तो वो बहुत ही कम तेल में बना सकते हैं, but it's not exactly the crunchier way we used to have, but alternatives में हम कम ऑयल इस्तेमाल कर सकते हैं. और नहीं तो या फ्राइड अगर है तो उसमें भी बना सकते हैं. राइस पोंगल का ऑल्टरनेटिव हो सकता है ओट्स पोंगल विद मूंग दाल, सामई पोंगल विच इज अ लिटिल मिलेट पोंगल, एंड शुगर फ्री राइस पोंगल भी एक ऑप्शन है. तो शुगर फ्री राइस लो जीआई राइस, उसका भी आप पोंगल बना सकते हैं. Let's go to the next option, which is lunch. The breakfast we have covered. Whatever the question you have in your mind, please drop in your chat. Radhika and me both will take it at the end of the session. Let's move for the lunch option right now. So first, very staple food, rice, right? इसके swaps क्या हो सकता है? Sugar free rice हो सकता है. Boiled foxtail millet हो सकता है. I will add another option right now, which is the boiled barnyard, right? Barnyard millet, which actually looks and tastes like a rice. Very gut friendly like rice. Barnyard millet बॉयल करके भी आप राइस की जगह इस्तेमाल कर सकते हैं. इसके अलावा हो सकता है बॉइल्ड ओट्स, बॉइल्ड किनोआ भी हो सकता है. दोस्त हु आर वेजिटेरियन, लाइक नो एग्स, नो नॉन वेज, उनके लिए quinoa is the best option. You can take it. You can like the taste. इसको आप अपने डाइट में डेली वन टाइम रख सकते हैं, which is rich in protein and very low in carbohydrates. Then it's wheat chapati. उसके healthy swaps क्या हो सकते हैं, which is the sugar fit आटा चपाती. We all know the good option as alternatives without changing the taste much. इसके अलावा व्हीट बेसन की रोटी हो सकती है, सोयाबीन की रोटी हो सकती है, वेजिटेबल रोटी हो सकती है, लाइक मेथी स्पिनच रोटी, और एनी वेजिटेबल दैट यू लाइक. बेसिकली जो लिपी वेजिटेबल्स होते हैं उसको भी बना सकते हैं. तो दैट इज आई थिंक द सेम सिंपलर वे एंड इट सेव्स योर टाइम. तो आपको अगर कोई सब्जी नहीं बनानी है अलग से, you can have a vegetable roti with a loaded vegetable and have a katori of curd. You are sorted for the lunch, right? तो वो आप यूज कर सकते हैं. दाल की ऑल्टरनेटिव्स, दाल का यहाँ पे ऑल्टरनेटिव्स का मतलब है कि हमें देखना चाहिए कि इट्स अ होल दाल और नॉट. वी शुडंट टेक अ स्प्लिट दाल और वी शुडंट टेक अ सुपर रिफाइंड दाल. इफ यू रिमेंबर दिस राधिका शेयर, लाइक अगर हमें हाई ग्लाइसेमिक इंडेक्स आइडेंटिफाई करना है, the first thing is that the grain is refined. अगर grain refined हुआ तो that is a high glycemic index. अगर हमें लो glycemic index यूज करना है तो the grains should be or the dal should be which has a cover outside, right? तो उसका ऑल्टरनेटिव क्या हो सकता है, मूंग और मसूर छिलका दाल जिसके बाहर छिलका हो, साबुत मूंग दाल हो सकता है, काला चना दाल हो सकता है. मतलब आउटसाइड वो कवर होनी चाहिए. gives you the fact of vitamin B and at the same time fiber as well. के अलावा कर्ड, कर्ड का ऑल्टरनेटिव का मतलब है कि जनरली कर्ड हम जो मार्केट से खरीदते हैं और घर पे बनाते हैं, तो वे यूजिंग द फुल फैट. तो यहाँ पे आई एम श्योर अगर जितने भी लोग प्रेजेंट हैं 50% के मतलब रिपोर्ट्स में ट्राइग्लिसराइड हाई है, एलडीएल हाई है, राइट, वीएलडीएल हाई है. तो ये हाई होता है बिकॉज ऑफ द फूड दैट यू चॉइस. कुछ हिडन फैट्स होते हैं जिसको हम अपने लैंग्वेज में इनविजिबल फैट बोलते हैं. तो फैट्स आर टू कैटेगरीज इन दिस फॉर्म ऑफ विजिबल फैट एंड इनविजिबल फैट. सो द फैट्स व्हिच आर प्रेजेंट इन द फूड एज अ फंडामेंटल गोल लाइक मिल्क, उसमें फैट ऑटोमेटिकली होता है. So as an alternative option of that, you can use a low fat curd or a skimmed milk curd. At the same time, buttermilk, yogurt, soya curd. अगर आपको soya product सूट करता है, go for it. It's a good option. But curd in general is a very good option. It's very gut friendly option. But make sure you make it at home. That's the best option, and make it with a low fat milk. Then we'll come to this evening snacks part. Snacks options में we have first biscuits. So how many of you like biscuits? यहाँ पे कितने कितने लोगों को biscuits पसंद है? Radhika, we got some answers or not? I hope we got, because it's a very common one.
I think many people are smiling, surely, because when they smile,
I
it is
can see
their
the
answer.
raising
Yes,
hands.
that is a part of their, maybe enjoying a tea or a coffee with some cookies and biscuits.
Yes, yes. So the problem, I'll tell you honestly, in India, companies are not making the authentic way of biscuits. See, you have to understand a little bit of the topic that food in India is something, it's commoditized, right? मतलब it's making for every section of the population. अगर कोई कंपनी लिखती है it's diabetic friendly biscuit, do not fool by that name. Own the ingredient list. अगर diabetic friendly बनाना पड़े तो जो ingredients use करने पड़ेंगे which is very costly. Every section of the society cannot afford it, right? India में ये is the first thing to make a product which is like for the general population. इसलिए biscuits हम I think all the coaches say sugar cut say no because of the ingredient list. आप मतलब ऑनेस्टली अगर मैं रेगुलर 10 क्लाइंट्स में हैंडल करती हूँ तो 5-6 तो मुझे बोलते हैं कि गिव मी सम ऑप्शंस, अ गुड कंपनी फॉर बिस्किट्स. एंड आई मतलब इट्स वेरी सैड, आई सेड नो, आई डोंट हैव एनी ऑप्शन. बस नहीं है ऑप्शंस. ये तो मुझे खुद का ब्रांड बनाना पड़ेगा. इट्स नो दैट आर नॉट अ ऑप्शन एक्चुअली. इसके ऑल्टरनेटिव्स आप क्या यूज कर सकते हैं, ओट्स और मल्टीग्रेन खाता यूज कर सकते हैं. इवन यू कैन यूज नाचोस अगर आप घर पे उसको बेक करके बना सके, राइट? तो ये आप इस्तेमाल कर सकते हैं एज अ हेल्दी ऑल्टरनेटिव. कुछ few companies are make it little bit of better options. ठीक है, उसमें उनको मैदे का परसेंटेज और वीट का परसेंटेज बहुत कम और लोअर साइड पे यूज करते हैं. stevia use करते हैं, but there are very few companies and not always like available and affordable. तो इसलिए वो ऑप्शंस हम वीक में एक दो बार कहीं पे अगर जा रहे हैं, देयर इज नो अदर ऑप्शन, वी कैन गो फॉर इट। ये तो मैक्सिमम हम ओट्स और मल्टीग्रेन खाना यूज कर सकते हैं। इसके अलावा ब्रेड पकोड़ा समोसा आई थिंक इज अनदर वेरी टेस्टी ऑप्शन एंड कॉमन ऑप्शन। इसके ऑल्टरनेटिव्स में हम बेक समोसा बना सकते हैं, जिसमें हम स्टफिंग में वेजिटेबल ऐड कर सकते हैं। चिकन पकौड़ा, बिग पनीर पकौड़ा बना सकते हैं। The problem is the outer coating and the second is that how it made. कुकिंग प्रोसीजर के लिए ये प्रॉब्लम है, इसको ही अगर हम चेंज करें यू कैन हैव इट। फ्राइड चिवड़ा और डाइट चिवड़ा अगेन वेरी कॉमन। किस किस को ये पसंद है यहाँ पे? कोई मतलब कल किसने खाया है ये शाम में? आई वुड लाइक टू नो, because I think Radhik is the most another common thing. I think you got it like chivra to healthy hai and diet chivra. I don't know gave this name of diet chivra because इसमें diet का तो कुछ I haven't seen कि कोई diet में कुछ है. The problem is कि again it's a rice product, rice flex है ये, तो इसमें प्रोटीन एंड फाइबर का क्वांटिटी बहुत कम होता है। तो नंबर वन, अगर इसको आपको खाना है, अगर आपको पसंद है, pair it with a salad and add a protein source like roasted chana, add a spoon of peanut in it, and make a good mixture and bhel kind of and have it once or twice in a week based on your sugar level and the weight. अगर alternatives देखना है आपको, go for roasted jowar, roasted red poha, unsalted popcorns, roasted makhana. This is a makhana, sorry, we'll correct it. It's a makhana, roasted makhana, kala chana, or chickpea roasted, roasted sprouts. These are easily available options. Get it in your grocery shop, you get it in the Amazon very easily. Go for the healthy options. I know it's in the beginning, it's difficult to adapt the taste, but slowly and gradually you will begin to like it. Second, sorry, fourth is pani puri or bhel. Again, Radhika, me both will love it, but क्या करें? It's a little problematic option. तो इसका हम घर पे solution निकाल सकते हैं. You will have a baked wheat pani puri with boiled chana chaat, cucumber, onion, tomato, tamarind taste के लिए lemon water. घर पे बनाएं because which is more hygienic also. के बाहर I don't know how many of you like to like read articles or blogs, right? But अगर आप देखेंगे the load of bacteria outside of chaat is very high, right? तो न्यूट्रिशनल the nutrition perspective के साथ साथ आप अपना hygiene का भी एक बार देखें, because after corona I think infections are very very common, basically in summer time, right? Because of the bacterial loads are high, because of the heat bacteria growth are high. So that's why इसलिए घर पे बनाएं, it will be hygienic, fresh, even it's a safe option to consume if you this changes. Then potato chips and namkeen, इसका भी alternative हो सकता है, sweet potato chips which is baked, cauliflower crackers हो सकता है, roasted nuts हो सकता है, roasted chickpeas हो सकता है, and baked zucchini chips भी हो सकता है. Even you can use any other like beetroot, carrot chips भी you can make it if you can bake it, not fried it completely.
So, Shauli, sorry to interrupt you over here, but we are getting a lot of queries in the chat section regarding the take on air fryer. So, people are
Yeah.
curious to know what's your take on air fryer and is it a preferable option to go ahead with? So, please put some limelight on this.
Yeah, it's a very interesting question because I recently purchased air fryer, honestly, because of my partner, just to make a healthy choice when he's living alone, right? So because of that, I did some research on air fryer. To be very honest, current studies why it's controversial. Always recommended, even it's controversial for microwave as well, right? So it's not even recommended to use this kind of appliances daily in your cooking method. This for optional one. Optional means once in 10 days, once in 15 days. Suppose there's a party in your house, like a gathering, right? At that time, you can use it. You shouldn't use very regularly, right? So these are not the natural way of cooking. Alternatives way cook है, but because इसके अंदर we don't know ना क्या क्या यूज किया जा रहा है, मतलब as a suppose मैंने एक ब्रांड खरीदा, उसका प्राइस है 6,000, किसने खरीदा 10,000, 15,000. Quality matters, right? Quality of stuffs matters, right? So safer is that, according to the current studies, once in 10 days, twice in 15 days, but not using before cleaning the, air fryer, that dish we got, उसको आप अच्छे से क्लीन करें, राइट, एंड उसको आप एटलीस्ट वीक में 2 बार क्लीन जरूर करें if you're using it frequently and then use it. But the recommended is once in 10 days or twice in 15 days. इसके ज्यादा यूज मत करें. सेम फॉर माइक्रोवेव. छोटी छोटी चीजों में माइक्रोवेव हम यूज कर लेते हैं उसको हॉट गर्म करने के लिए, कुछ बनाने के लिए, बट उसको इतना फ्रीक्वेंटली यूज मत करिए. यूज योर नॉर्मल वे ऑफ कुकिंग. लेस अमाउंट ऑफ ऑयल, use less amount of heat. इससे भी आप healthy options बना सकते हैं. These are the alternatives when you have guests at home, when you sometimes want to have like some fried options but not want to use too much oil. On those situations, you can use. Any other question, Radhika? I will go forward.
Just one more question, Shauli. Mr. Jain is asking, frying in homemade ghee or oil, which is a better option?
Frying in, sorry.
Frying in either homemade ghee or oil. So which is better?
कोई better option नहीं है. Sorry. I'm sorry, Mr. Jain. It's not a better option. Not because of the source of fat, because frying है, deep fried जिसको हम बोलते हैं. कुकिंग मेथड में ही प्रॉब्लम है. अगर आप घी में भी इस्तेमाल करेंगे, विल गेट अ सिमिलर काइंड ऑफ अ कैलोरी. अगर आप ऑयल में भी इस्तेमाल करेंगे तो कैलोरी परस्पेक्टिव में सिमिलर है, राइट. तो उसमें कुछ डिफरेंशिएट नहीं है. और जिस बेनिफिट के लिए हम घी को प्रमोट करेंगे, अगर आप उसको फ्राई और उतने हीट में पकाएंगे, यू विल नॉट गेट द बेनिफिट. प्रॉब्लम है आपका कुकिंग मेथड. प्रॉब्लम यहाँ पे द सोर्स ऑफ फैट नहीं है.
I remember this, Shauli, when parathas are cooked at our place, my mother does not put the ghee on the tawa. She just brings down the tawa, the paratha
That
from the tawa, and then she adds ghee to it. And she says that the smoke which comes out of the ghee when we roll, we're on the pan, that is not good for our health. So it's like the, smoking point, the temperature of the ghee or oil that we cook in is not good.
हम ऑयल को जितना टेम्परेचर में हीट करेंगे, इट विल आल्सो क्रिएट सम टॉक्सिन्स इन इट ना. तो उससे भी आपको फ्लैटुलेंस, गैस्ट्रिक इश्यूज हो सकते हैं. और वो सेम ऑयल को आप फिर से यूज ना करें. वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. नहीं तो इट विल अगेन कॉज मोर इश्यूज योर गट एज वेल. ठीक है. I think we'll go forward with the dinner option, Radhika, because I can see many like questions in the chat. 83 questions I can see in my screen. Need
Yeah,
to
please
answer
go.
those as well. So dinner में first is rice. So again the same option. You can have a red or brown rice, boiled quinoa, boiled millet, sugar-fed rice. चपाती और पराठे की जगह we can have a sugar-fed atta roti, soybean jowar roti. Dosa or idli for South Indian option. You can have a moong dal dosa, mixed dal dosa, besan dosa, a moong dal, a sugar-fed rice idli, or you can have a quinoa, quinoa को paste करके you can make a dosa idli as well. तो हमें यहाँ पे मेनली इंग्रेडिएंट चेंज करने की जरूरत है. अकॉर्डिंगली वी कैन मेक द सेम डिश. Now come to the beverage. I think this is another very common and commonly asked question. So beverage option में से tea with milk and sugar. इसके जगह हम tea with steamed milk and stevia use कर सकते हैं, which is a natural sweetener. Black coffee की जगह we can have a green tea, chamomile tea and hibiscus tea. But let me tell you, black coffee भी आप इस्तेमाल कर सकते हैं as a pre-workout. जिनका BMI higher side पे है, they can use black coffee with a pinch of cinnamon or apple cider vinegar before their workout. It's working well for the fat burning, right? But उसका intake limit होना जरूरी है. Take it in a daytime mode, that in the second half of the day. Soda for the gastric issues. उसकी जगह मतलब हमने सुना होगा राइट, हमारे कंसल्टेशन में सोडा हम यूज करते हैं बिकॉज हमें गैस्ट्रिक प्रॉब्लम हो गई है. तो उसकी जगह वी कैन यूज अ जीरा अजवाइन वाटर विद लेमन. You can make a very simple powder with jeera, ajwain, soap and dhania. Just roast it and make a powder. Use it with the same water. Boil it and have it in the morning. It will be great for the gastric problems. You can have a sweetened juices or जो fruit juices होते हैं, which is a big no. इस जगह हम detox water, coconut water use कर सकते हैं. Milk के alternatives में हम soya milk और almond milk use कर सकते हैं. फ्रीजी शुगरी ड्रिंक की जगह हम वाटर फ्लेवर फ्रेश मिंट लेमन जूस यूज कर सकते हैं. मतलब जो आपका कच्चा नींबू का वाटर होता है विद मिंट, वी कैन यूज इट एज वेल एज अ रिफ्रेशिंग ड्रिंक. और यू कैन हैव अ चिया सीड वाटर विद इट एज वेल. These are the healthy swap options for beverages. Now going for sweets, right? So हमें भी कभी कभी तो होता है ना कि we have to have some sweets. Or the guests were coming to this time पे. Milk chocolate की जगह you can have a keto chocolate or a dark chocolate. Dates की जगह you can have organic dried prunes, dried apricots, dried fig use कर सकते हैं. स्पाइक्स कम आते हैं. chocolate spreads के alternatives where you can have an unsalted peanut butter or almond butter. Let me tell you, almond butter is better option than a peanut butter, depending on the brand and the source that you're using. Or you can make it at home as well. इसकी जगह refined sugar, jaggery, honey, brown sugar की जगह आप stevia इस्तेमाल कर सकते हैं. Let me tell you again, sugar, jaggery, brown sugar, honey, it's a same, like it's a member of the same family. इसमें कोई डिफरेंस नहीं है. फिर कोई आपको बोलता है जैगरी इज हेल्दी देन शुगर, देयर इज नो सच एविडेंस. उसमें भी 100% कार्ब है, उसमें भी 100% कार्ब है, कोई डिफरेंस नहीं है. आइसक्रीम के ऑल्टरनेटिव्स में आप फ्रोजन अनस्वीटेंड योगर्ट विद बेरीज, फ्रोजन फ्रूट पॉप्सिकल बना सकते हैं वेरी इजीली. सिर्फ आपको ग्राइंड करके उसका पेस्ट बनाना है. वो पॉप्सिकल के जो मिलते हैं ना कंटेनर, उसमें डालने हैं. कैन ऐड फ्यू दिस ड्राई फ्रूट्स आल्सो. So freeze करिए 7-8 hours के लिए. You get a great popsicle and food. No need to purchase outside. So these are the options we have for sugar and food. Now, these are the few low carbohydrate beans options, and these are the few healthy fat options. Radhika said fats are not all bad, right? We have healthy fat options like you can see the Brazil nut, the walnut, peanut. So the scores you can see 9, 7. It's a like the amount of carbohydrate in it. So you can see this walnut which has 7 gram of carbs. There's a Brazil nut with 4. Peanut is an 8, right? So इसको भी हम अपने diet में include कर सकते हैं, which is not too high in carbohydrates, but will be a alternatives in some options. Okay, now these are the few more options for healthy swaps. And okay, this is a complex carb and simple carb. So Radhika, you want to take this back?
Sure, Shravali. So, as initially I had discussed about, the grain, the, portion size of the grain, or, the consistency of the grain, here we can very clearly see the difference between simple and complex carbs, right? The fries, chocolates, your juices, your cookies, drinks, white bread, all these things comes into your simple carbs. However, going for, vegetables, grains, the what we call as a mota grain, mota anaj jo hota hai, that one, or a brown bread, or some veggies, these comes into the complex carbs. So, we even got some queries in the chat section. Can we eat wheat roti sometimes? So my question is, why not to eat? अगर रोटी चावल नहीं खाओगे तो आप क्या ही खा लोगे रोज? Okay, we have jawar, we have bajra, we have ragi, all these things surely we can have. But let us ensure that we are sticking to the eating practices since childhood, which is, a very healthier practice what our grandparents used to probably follow years back. So if some person is a Bengali, you should not never ask and never make a mistake to ask not to eat a fish. Never ask a Marwadi not to eat a ghee. So there are certain things which each cultural preferences, probably swear by and they believe in that. So let us try to stick to our eating practices, what we had since childhood. But yes, when it comes to carbohydrate of any form, let's consider for that matter wheat roti. So we have to ensure अगर हम wheat की रोटी खा रहे हैं, उसके साथ हमने सब्जी कितनी ली है, उसके साथ हमने प्रोटीन लिया है या नहीं लिया है, हमारा कार्बोहाइड्रेट 70% ऑफ द प्लेट तो नहीं हो रहा है. ये चीजों का ध्यान रखना जरूरी है. एक्सेप्ट फॉर दैट, यू कैन श्योरली एंजॉय योर wheat roti and even your rice. Next slide, please, Shauli. एक बहुत ही ब्यूटीफुल
list of
आया है. आई कैन सी मिस्टर राजेश सेइंग जय श्री कृष्णा. जय श्री कृष्णा, मिस्टर राजेश. हैप्पी टू हैव यू ऑन द चैट. So these are again some complex carbohydrate option that we have. So, in spite of going for maida, refined products, we have whole wheat pastas, kidney beans, quinoa, whole wheat breads, oats, brown rice. ये सभी चीजें you have to incorporate in the diet, right? And as I always say, it is not that any food is good or bad. Okay, it is never a food is good or bad. See, for example, ragi for me is I'm super comfortable having a ragi. Or maybe my dad, I see some beautiful, stable graph and he consumes ragi. But for XYZ person, you might see some major spikes. So it depends on an individual, person कि आपका शुगर लेने के बाद या आपका कोई भी XYZ चीज लेने के बाद, may it be a sweet potato or a brown rice or a quinoa, how are the spikes? Again, it's like a vicious cycle. Everything comes to the picture of maintaining the portion sizes for us.
Yes, I think the next slide we have a low carbohydrate food. This is again a very common question. So that you can see that there's a lots of food options which you can choose from, right? So the amount of you can see 8.3 grams, 7.7 grams. This is the carbohydrate quantity. But again, let me tell you, depending on like what are the other dishes you are having in diet, आप क्या क्या खाना खा रहे हो, because जब आप कोई डाइट प्लान बनाते हैं ना, तो उसमें हम जब कैलकुलेट करते हैं तो उसमें ईच एंड एवरी आइटम्स का कार्बोहाइड्रेट, प्रोटीन, कैलोरी हम कैलकुलेट करते हैं, राइट। तो क्वांटिटी फूड का ऑलवेज रेस्ट्रिक्ट होना चाहिए 100 to 150 ग्राम्स के अंदर, राइट। तो उसको आप ऐसे टाइम में ले जो आपके मील के बहुत आसपास ना हो, जिससे स्पाइक्स आपका बहुत देर तक वो ना रहे। So these are the list of fruits you can incorporate, but limiting the quantity and pair it with a good fat like seeds or nuts. इससे spikes बहुत high ना जाए, and you can feel also full after having the food. So you can also not go for exceeding the quantity as well. Okay, so these are the non-starchy vegetables. I think once you join SugarFit, the second call we generally have for diet plan. Coaches has generally explained this very clearly that which are the non-starchy vegetables and might receive a PPT for that. So you can see spinach, then capsicums, then this cabbages, brinjal, bhindi, carrot, beetroot, tomatoes, right? These are the options you can also add daily in your diet. Okay. So now I think we have already covered the points here. We'll just move forward to the games, but before that, we'll take a few more questions from the chat as well. Radhika, any interesting questions you got?
Yes, Shali. Someone was asking about the detox water, Shali. So I would want probably to give few options if you can give how to make a detox water and how convenient it is to go ahead with.
Okay, great. So detox water is something, first thing first, needs to be consumed fresh. Right? So it's basically going to help detoxifying the body. The ingredients should be also freshly consumed. So very, very simple detox water is that you can like add lemon juice, mint leaves, and also you can add few pieces of ginger to the water, and keep it in the water for half an hour. If it's too much, like if it's a summer and the external heat is very high, then keep it in a refrigerator for half an hour, and then finish the water within 1 hour. You can repeat this twice, thrice in a day, especially in summertime. Apart from that, you can make detox water with green tea, cucumber, and mint as well. Also cucumber, lemon, and also with a hint like there's a small piece of raw turmeric as well. उसको आप पानी में आधे घंटे के लिए इसे just पानी में रख के you can finish your water within 1 hour as well. उसको freshly आप बनाइए and freshly उसको use करिए. वो 2 घंटे के बाद यूज मत करिए. It will not be not the taste is also not same. Taste भी same नहीं रहेगा. आपको benefit भी उतना नहीं मिलेगा. Okay, great. I think we have few more questions here as well. Milk and milk, sorry. Stevia for sugar. Yeah, stevia is a natural sweetener, right? Not an artificial sweetener like sugar free, which are very common in the market. Stevia is a very like natural form. It comes from a leaf, right? जैसे हम Indian में होता है ना, छोटी तुलसी होती है, which is also taste sweet. Stevia is basically a small kind of a leaf. अभी तो इन इंडिया में लाइक यूपी एंड एमपी के वहां पे ये ग्रोन हो रही है, पहले नहीं होती थी. नाउ बहुत सारी जो कंपनीज है, स्मॉल कंपनीज आर मेकिंग स्टीविया. तो जब आप खरीदिए, अगेन रीडिंग मतलब लेवल पढ़िए, उसमें कोई स्टार्च नहीं ऐड होना चाहिए. इट शुड बी प्योर स्टीविया लीव्स दैट शुड बी एडेड, देन इट्स अ बेटर प्रोडक्ट टू टेक.
I also see
Peanut.
especially for sugar-free tablets, Shauli, I would just want to go ahead with this. See, once in a while, as Shauli said, stevia being a natural sweetener, you can surely go ahead with it, right? But let's not make it a routine to add, sugar-free tablets into our milk and lassi and cold drinks and anything that you would want to preferably go ahead with. That's not like any alternative to have or consume for sugar. It's like, okay, once in a while, if you really want to enjoy, we can surely go ahead with it. But preferably go for stevia option and don't make it a routine or a lifestyle habit for you. That okay, हम शक्कर नहीं खा रहे पर हम sugar free tablets खा रहे, because any product that we consume, especially these sugar free tablets, we really need those long term researches on that. So anything like maybe aspartame, sucralose, glucose. So these things are not very safe for the body to consume for a longer run. Yes, as Shauli mentioned, for even air fryer, once in 15 days, once in 10 days, it is absolutely okay to consume, but don't make it a practice for us that okay, we are consuming it every day.
Right. I think we have one question, that is, can we take ghee on chapati, idli, and rice? You can. Actually, the answer is yes, you can. But the most important point here is how much, right? कितना quantity में आप use कर रहे हैं, that is a very important question. So as I said while I discussing the options, अगर आप when you make the roti, suppose on the top of the roti, if you brush the ghee, that is fine. If you use 1 spoon of every roti, and if you're having suppose 2-3 rotis, it's just teaspoon of, you have to calculate the calories coming with the ghee as well, right? For excess amount. राइस में भी आप घी इस्तेमाल कर सकते हैं if you can just cook राइस with it. और उसको मतलब ज्यादा इस्तेमाल करके जस्ट ऑयली ना बना के जस्ट टू कोट इट, तो वो आपका शुगर स्पाइक कम कर सकता है. नॉट टू यूज इन एक्सेस अमाउंट. Yeah, I will have few questions.
I'll
Yeah,
take
I added dates in ghee, and after 2 hours I checked the sugar, it was 106 mg per year. Great. What's your HB1C? I would like to know. And what are the medication you're on? So that also depends. So it's not only about one event. See, whenever you see that after having a food, sugar is still in the range of 110 and 106, let's understand what are the medication you're on. What's your HB1C? Okay. Based on that, because it's not same for everyone. If someone HB1C is 10 and someone is on metformin, and if you're having a kheer with curd, after meal, his or her sugar will not be in the range of 106. Right? So it's depends on the person.
also a
B12.
question,
Because
Shravani,
I just
from Mr.
want to
Nirmal.
quickly take up the question. We have already exceeded the time limit. It's already 12:15. Can we quickly take up the questions? Because I don't want anyone to leave without getting answer to the questions. So let's quickly take this up. I'm starting from the beginning. Radhika, anything else that we have taken up and we should
Yes, Neha, I am just answering the question for Mr. Nirmal. He's asking that he
we
does
have to
not
be
own milk
quick, yeah.
products, and he would also want to know the some sources of B12. So basically, vegetarian sources are B12, Mr. Nirmal, which includes your, yogurt, your buttermilk. But except for that, you can go for spinach, beet, you can go for tofu. So these are the other options that you can have. Also,
I
spinach and
just
it.
suggest like one of the best ingredient, moringa powder or the moringa leaves. Drumstick leaves you get anywhere. I have seen Radhika personally in my clients. It increases the B12 levels very quickly compared to any other
Exactly.
ingredient because that has like every ingredient in excess. So if you take 1 to 2 teaspoon also every day, it will be very helpful in meeting up your iron levels, your B12 levels, your all the trace minerals and selenium, magnesium. It helps in reducing the readings. So these are very it's a very simple addition. You can add it to your vegetables, chutney, however you want. You can have it in the curd. So, along with what Radhika has given these suggestions, these are definitely a very good food. But if simply you want to add it, especially for the vegetarian people where we find problem, that's one of the best addition. Let's girls quickly take up the questions because it's already 2:15. We have to wrap this up.
Next question, I'll take the next question for you, Shauli. Eno for fermentation, is it a good option? Miss Ketke is asking this.
Okay, I don't think it's a good option. We fermentation, as I told, while I was presenting the screen, then use curd, right? This is a better option, which give you the similar kind of effect. So इनो से आपको आता है, right? Which is protein rich, also gut friendly. Also, you'll get this as extra benefit. So next time, curd, not eno or any other soda mixes there is. Yeah, I think we have covered most of the question, Radhika.
Yeah. Most of the questions are questions are covered, Neha. So I think we are good to go.
So I think Neha, we have covered most.
Awesome. Perfect. And let me just quickly check. Anyone of you feel any question has not been added up?
Yeah, Mr.
Any
Rakesh is
session?
asking how much moringa powder we are supposed to take daily.
1 teaspoon to 2 teaspoon in a day. We can take 2 teaspoon in a day.
Yeah, curd you can add just before making, not just before making, like before 1 hour of making the dish, right? Mix the curd, rest it for 1 hour, then you use it to make that dish fluffy.
And those who are using, I really admired the suggestion being given by Shawly that curd is a better option compared to Eno. Eno makes our bone more porous. It makes holes, small pores in your bones, which makes the bones more brittle and you get more prone to injuries. So please avoid that. Moringa tablet, I prefer something natural. We get sejan ke patte, moringa everywhere. So please use that. If you are not getting that, moringa powder is better than the tablet. I know the session was very informative. I think both the girls have taken it really well. It was a little elaborated session, which has taken more time. So thank you so much for sparing the time. I hope we have taken up all the questions. Can we have cheese? Parmesan cheese is much better. Radhika, please write down in the chat. Parmesan, cheddar. These are the more purest form of cheese. Actually, when you eat the processed cheese, that tastes more good. But that is useless. It's like if you leave it in the outside in the air, it will become like plastic. So you just imagine what is it going to do inside the body. Mango, it's okay. Always have 2 teaspoons of seeds and always discuss this with your coach. If your HbA1c is above 7, above 6.5, please don't have it avoided because anything which is very sweet will quickly increase your glucose levels and your HbA1c. So then you will not see any impact on your readings.
What's your
Sugar
take on red
control.
ginseng, Neha? Last question, I think. What's your take on red ginseng, Mr.
Red
Rajiv?
ginseng is absolutely okay. You can take that, in moderation, absolutely fine. But nowadays, when it's very summery, your temperature is 30-35 degree temperature, then we should avoid because it's a little heat, hot in potency. So we should avoid during using
Increase the
during this.
heat inside the body.
Yes, it's increased
Not
the
ideal
inflammation
for
and heat.
summer actually.
Yeah, winter time it's okay. Cramps in calf muscles and feet when you are not doing proper warm up before the exercises, when you are not doing proper cool down after the exercises, then the cramps are usual. When you are not using your muscles and different body parts at all due to with the exercise, then also the cramps are very usual. Lack of water intake, lack of calcium intake, there can be many reasons. You have to rule it out by adding and subtracting, one or two ingredients. Discuss with your coach, connect on the video call, and make, rule out the situation. Dates in the
There
same
we have
thing.
another question. When to take moringa powder? I think generally I suggest to mix it with the dal or mix it with
So
sambar.
I
Or you
suggest
take
1 teaspoon in 3 teaspoon curd before the meals, or you can add 1 teaspoon moringa powder to the raita, vegetable raita. So any these two ways, or you can make the green chutney, coriander chutney, and add 1 teaspoon of moringa powder to it.
yeah, cinnamon in summer. It depends that we can use 1 teaspoon, but
One
then
teaspoon is advisable, yes,
yeah,
sure.
1 teaspoon
In
is
a
one.
day, one
Yeah,
teaspoon is absolutely okay. The best form is like add it in the curd and use it.
And
Curd
also to
contains
maintain that, body temperature during summers, we can add some chia seeds, we can have buttermilk to maintain the body temperature because dalchini, the texture
generally
of
it's
that.
better to have it in the morning than rather
Yeah.
than have in the night, which cause more gastric problems.
Ensure that we have, good amount of chia seeds added to our routine, especially during summers to maintain a good body temperature and ensure that you're hydrating well. That is the most crucial part. After oxygen, you really need water to survive. So let's not skip on that important part. Gehu khana hai, nahi khana hai, rice, dal, chawal, dalchini, ginseng. Let's not forget to consume water, guys. It's super important for all of us to hydrate ourselves well by the end of the day. So that's, let's not forget that.
yeah. Even there was a question, I don't know whether you girls have covered it or not. Potato you have covered?
Yes, I've covered now. I've
Okay,
answered
the
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
session
most of
start.
this.
We have spoken about it. I'm sorry, I was in the middle of call. I think we have covered up all the questions, and this was the most important session because these are the ingredients which can completely change the game of your blood sugar readings and the glycemic control. Thank you so much, Shirley and Radhika. Well taken, very well prepared the entire content and all. I hope you all enjoyed, and see you all on the next Sunday with new topic with some new information. So please keep joining us. And if you have any views, if you want us to cover any topic, and I want to see you all for the yoga week also. That's the first time we are doing the cleansing through the yoga. And that's one of the best way to cleanse your organs. We do, apply soap, wash ourselves, wash our hair from outside, but internal cleansing, who will do? We can only do. And the internal cleansing actually can increase your age and delay the aging. So please add more life to your life. And 5 days, just matter of 5 days. Wake up early and 6 to 7 join the session. 23rd, we are doing the world record of sun salutation. Please join from morning 6 o'clock till 11. Any one session you can join, it's absolutely okay. But and you can share that link with any of your friend, relative, family members. It's open for all. So thank you so much, and thanks, girls, for this session. See you all on next Sunday. So please stay tuned with us till then.